What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. You know, I was thinking about this yesterday when I was listening to all of the weirdos complain about different kind of black folk. You know, the weirdos. And I've said this before in one of my old videos a long time ago. And I'm sure it's not going to go back into rotation, so I'll repeat it again. For all the xenophobic, hateful, ethno-nationalist African Americans in this country, and on a greater note, for all the ethno-nationalists in Africa, you know, there's going to become a point in time in the very near future, because it's already developing now, where none of your descendants are going to care about any of that shit you're talking about. Yep. There's going to be a point in time where you talking about you an African American, you know, your ancestors were brought over here during the transatlantic slave trade. Oh, I'm a Igbo, Belfron, oh, Yoruba land, oh, colored, and black African, and boy, all that shit y'all talking. All these black people talking about I'm a special Negro because my ancestry went through this with the white person and your ancestry went through that with the white person. All that shit we talking about right now, and weak-minded Africans who are too cowardly and lazy to unite with their brothers and sisters and have a better understanding. I want you all to know that all of your xenophobic disunity efforts are for nothing. Because the kids that's being born today, the kids that was born yesterday, they don't give a shit about nothing you're talking about. There's going to be a point in time in America where the African who came over here during the transatlantic slave trade, the African that came over here in the early 20s and 30s that y'all pretend didn't happen, right? The Africans that came over here after the 60s, right? And the Africans that are currently coming over here right now, and the Africans that will still be coming over here for the next 50, 60 years, right? I'm just going that far because we're going to 2100. By 2100, okay? None of this shit you talking about is going to be relevant. It's going to be in a book about what not to do. You see, Pan-Africanism is about unity. And right now, black people are unifying, despite you weirdos getting on the internet every day to talk shit about Africans in one form or another. Every day. You got people like Tariq that come on and does his roasting shows so that his dumb subscribers can give him money so he can continue to pay for his lavish lifestyle that he finally got. You got all his little minions that get thousands of views, where a bunch of incel black folks who's never done anything with their lives hate on African people because that's the only thing they think they know how to do. And that's the only thing they do good, because they don't do anything else good, obviously, because they got all this time in the world to spend hours upon. I understand the host because he's getting paid by the dummies, but I don't understand the dummies spending hours having their insecurities and their mis and disinformation reinforced by people who are slightly smarter than them because one of their brain cells is working half more to capacity than theirs. There is a point in time, and that point in time is probably going to be within our lifetime, where the youth don't care about none of that shit you're talking about. They don't care about this. They won't, when they identify themselves, they'll say, well, in my family, I have both Africans that came here the first time during the transatlantic slave trade and who immigrated here later. That's what's happening. You see, while all you xenophobic, hateful people are trying your best on social media to start diaspora wars, to start fights, Africans and African Americans and Caribbeans are blending together like three separate chocolates that have been separated and now combining to make the most rich, dark, concentrated form of chocolate ever in existence. That's what y'all don't understand. There are children out here who can turn on a Caribbean accent one of their African accents and an African American accent at the drop of a dime, and not be lying about none of it, because one of their parents are half Caribbean, half African American, and the other one's African. So there's a whole population of people in America, okay, in America that y'all don't take in consideration. You see, you got those golden, they got names, the mixed mulattoes, the golden people, the half and halves, right? You got them and their issues being mixed between black and white, right? But you got a happier mix happening between Africans and African Americans, between Africans and Caribbeans, between Caribbeans and African Americans. That's always been happening. I don't even know why we even look at the Caribbeans as any group any different. We're separated by what? A little bit of water? Like a little bit of water? What's the difference between, if I stand on the other side of the swimming pool, right, adjacent to you, does that make the difference any different than if I stand on a baseball, one side of the baseball field, because there's grass? There's grass there. So if you're over there and I'm over here, and there's grass between us, right, and then we move to another place, and I'm over here and you over there, but there's a pool between us. You saying there's that pool, that water, that thing, the material in between our distance makes us different from each other? Last time I checked, the South ain't nothing but an extension of the Caribbeans. The Caribbeans and the Southern African Americans are the same. They practice, the religions and practice cultures meld all the way up to New York. From the blackest part of the Caribbean all the way up to New York is a chain of African people. We're all on the same hemisphere, the same horizontal plane in America. And our African brothers and sisters are just on the other side of the ocean, right? If it was dirt there, you wouldn't say you was any different, right? Just like I'm from D.C., I'm not going to say a person from Florida is any different. All we have is dirt in between us and a whole bunch of lakes, right? What's the difference between that Haitian and that Floridian? A little bit of water. That's it. We all the same. Brothers and sisters. Different boat stops. That's it, right? But there's a point in time where these children that's being born right now are being born by Nigerian and Jamaicans, by Ghanaians and Trinidadians, by African Americans and every Caribbean and every African. The children here don't recognize this FBA shit you talking about. This the identity, culture's changing. That's one thing about culture. Culture always change, right? Like, for instance, the great Yoruba and Igbo and Hausa and Fulanis of Nigeria, right? In Niger. Before they became that, they were something else. They were something else. They practiced something else. They called themselves something else. They were separated into different groups. They were totally different groups. Before the Oyo, you had the Ifa, the great Ifa kingdom, right? They separated, came together, melded together, and different combination became the Oyo, became Benin, became the Lagos, became all these people, the Dahomey, right? And now they fight each other sometimes for their differences. The Igbos and the Yorubas are just literally racially the same people. They're just practicing different practices based off how they diverged when they separated from a greater group of people. The Hausas in Nigeria, and the Igbos and the Yoruba are the same group of people. They're the same ethnic, racial looking group of people. But they're various different looks, by the way, that represent all of Africa. Every type of phenotype in Africa is in Nigeria. And they're all part of these big tribes that are branches of bigger tribes or other kingdoms of other nations that existed before them. And they all got their histories and their histories that combine, that connects with each other. And then once upon a time, they were all fighting each other for various different political and social reasons. And some of their people ended up in North America, and they had to unify. They had no choice. Whether they had historical beefs with each other on the continent, and that's the reason why they all ended up in North America, in the Caribbean, in South America, because they sold each other as a military tactic towards other warring kingdoms, or because of various different low vibrational reasons you would sell anybody into slavery, right? But they found themselves in the Americas, which include the Caribbean, South America, Canada, North America. We found ourselves here, and we had to sit to the left and the right of the people that have been our historical ops, the people who we've been fighting against, the people we captured and put into slavery. And then in turn, they captured us and put us into slavery. Neither one of us knew what we were putting ourselves into, but we ended up here in America, ended up in the Caribbean, ended up in South America, Central America. And we, despite the differences that we had that made us end up being here in the first place, we had to unite under Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism is as old as slavery, because we had to force that. We were forced upon ourselves to unite as different nations, different language-speaking Africans, because we were in America, and we had to deal with this barbarian. And we had to deal with centuries of slavery, of terrorism, of fighting for our freedom. We couldn't have done that if we were still fighting over our old tribal names because of our egos, because of our old designations and things, these great things that our group of people did that made us some sort of special kind of African than the other one. And the same thing is happening now. Now things are changing. We are having children with each other. We are blending back. African Americans are the best part. African Caribbeans, African on the Western Hemisphere are the best part of Africans. Why? Because we've been through the fire and we've displayed Pan-Africanism under fire for centuries. An African American is the manifestation of Pan-Africanism. We are the manifestation. Caribbeans are the manifestation of Pan-Africanism. We may all not act it as right now because life happens. And when you're in a survival mode, most of the time you just think about the person to your left and right, and you hope they're going to help you out when you need help. That's as far as we go, right? But when you're in a constructing, building mode, nation building mode, people building mode, you must think of the bigger picture. When the last time we came together and united under pressure, right? And what did we do? We succeeded. When we unite, we succeed. When we divide ourselves, and it's guaranteed death, guaranteed destruction. The last time we divided ourselves massively, it was guaranteed death and guaranteed destruction. But the last time we united ourselves, it was black excellence, and we survived. And we invented all these wonderful things that help enable us to free ourselves even further, as we are still on the journey of freedom. But freedom does not mean luxury. You build your luxury after you get your freedom. It's your freedom that allows you to build your luxury. All right? It's not supposed to come with it. All right? It gives you the freedom to build it your goddamn self. Right? So all I'm saying is the African American idea of what an African American, it will change. They're already coming up with names. All right? They don't care about what you 40, 50-year-old Beijing hair wearing bastards are saying. They don't care. They're not listening to you 40, 50, 60-year-old men talk shit about the white religions you decided to adopt and fight over. They're not listening to you fight over the white dividing lines that the white people drew for you in order for you to feel good about yourself and feel like a special Negro. They don't care. They're listening to hip hop and reggae and soca and freaking Afro beats at the same time. Their mixtapes are different from ours. They don't have to pick one African genre of music. They can pick any music that resonates with them as a blended African, as a national African, as an African that body combines the full breadth of Africa, whether it be the Caribbean, African, and African American mix. They don't have time for your shit. You see, I'm going to be living in the future with them. All right? That's what Pan-Africanism is. I understand that the youth don't think like us. They're a better version than us. We just need to cultivate that version and make sure they're empowered to be able to take advantage of their intelligence. And we have to know when to get the hell out the way and shut the hell up about certain things, because it's not going to be our world anymore. We live in our world. If you around my age, you're not living right now, what are you doing? You still talking about what you're going to do tomorrow? Still complaining about what you couldn't do in the past? But you ain't doing nothing but complaining about the past and worrying about tomorrow right now instead of living. That's most of people's problems, to be honest. Right? So, listen. These new Africans, they don't care about these African Americans. They ain't going to care about none of that shit y'all talking about. That doesn't belong to them. That's you. And the culture of blackness, global, what it means to be black, what it means to be African American, what it means to be black on this planet is going to be different. And all of the things that we think, all of our ideologies will be written down in a book, in an e-book. It will be studied because it's part of the ingredients, it's part of the pathway which is going to take us to get to where we ultimately go. And this is all necessary. It was all foreordained. But I just want to let y'all guys know that the culture that you're trying to conserve will change and turn into something else, like it's always done. Because the only thing that's constant, the only thing that's permanent is change. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
Ain't nobody trying to argue with you all damn day, bro. Shut the fuck up. Damn.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan.
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.